All right, let's talk about bias. This is a pretty vocab heavy lesson, so there won't be much that I write, but I'll talk a little bit. Bias is when we consistently under or overestimate a parameter. Remember, a parameter, that's the population value. And generally speaking, we don't know that value, because if we did, then this whole class is pointless, right? So the statistics is studying how we can estimate parameters, because finding the true values of parameters is often very difficult. So bias is when we're under or overestimating. Most often this will happen because we're underrepresenting part of the population, or maybe our questions are leading us to get the wrong information from people. Those are the main ways. There's a little diagram talking about bias versus variability. So this is low variability, but we're guessing consistently, but we're guessing wrong consistently. So that's not great. Here, on average, we're right, but we're not right very often. In fact, I don't think there's even one that's on the bullseye, right? So that's low bias and high variability. This is worst case scenario. You're guessing wrong and you're guessing inconsistently. And this is our deal. We want low bias and we want low variability. So we need to find methods that decrease our variability, and we need to find sampling methods that decrease our bias as well, and make sure our questions are worded well so that we're getting the actual information that we want. All right, so the mayor of Springfield is interested in finding out the average age of people in the city. He obtains a list of all the landline telephones in the city and then contacts a simple random sample of 300 people. He uses the data from the sample to estimate the average age of all the people in the city. Now, who owns a landline phone at this point? Basically, everyone's using cell phones. So if that's the case, he's probably only going to get real old people that still have their landline phones, right? So this is under coverage bias, right? So he only contacted people with a landline telephone. There's so many people that aren't going to be included in the sample that cannot be. It's not just that they won't be, it's that it is impossible for them to be included. I don't have a landline telephone. He couldn't call me. I'm sure none of you have a landline telephone. He couldn't call you either. And some of you aren't even 18, so he probably wasn't allowed to call you, but for like ethics reasons. But that's beside the point. There's so many people that literally are unable to be in this sample. The administration at a school wants to know the proportion of students that did all their homework last night. They select a simple random sample of 100 students and send an email to each of them asking if they did all their homework last night. Of the 40 responses, 36 of the students said they did all of their homework last night. There's two issues here. They contacted 100 students and only 40 responded. Now, I wonder why, if a principal or an assistant principal emails a student, that they might not respond. There's several reasons, but in this case, it's probably because they didn't do all their homework, right? And of the 36 that said that they did do it, I don't know why it skipped to that slide. Of the 36 that said they did do it, how many of them were even telling the truth? Like, the administrator's contacting them. Maybe they're just saying yes because they don't want to get like talked to about how important it is to do your homework. But right, so there's two problems here. We have non-response bias, and that occurs when people simply don't respond, right? So now there's a reason they're not responding, and it would be very nice to know that reason. So because we don't know it, we don't talk to them, we're going to under or overestimate our parameter. In this case, we're probably going to overestimate the number or the proportion of people that do their homework. Our response bias occurs when a participant in the survey answers inaccurately. It could be for a bunch of reasons, but usually it's the person has a compelling reason to lie, right? So you go to the doctor and they say, do you smoke? And you're a smoker and you know you're not supposed to. So you say, oh, I don't smoke that often. That's response bias. You lied. Maybe the question is leading. And the classic example of this is usually like a political question. They'll the thing that comes to mind is Second Amendment. They say having a gun in the home is important for the defense of your house or of your home and your property and your life. Do you believe the Second Amendment should stand as is, right? So, and whether you believe in it or not, that's beside the point. The question that they ask in that case is leading, right? They're setting you up to like think, oh man, that is really important. So they can't do that. Your question has to be very flat. It has to just be asking for facts. And that's the video. Goodbye.